Going on? My name is Ilba J. Sanchez and this is Excellence in Every Thread. And today I'm gonna give you guys a fun fact. I'm a movie buff. And if you don't know it, now you do. My favorite pastimes was going to the movie theaters with my parents, getting popcorn, which I love, and just sitting back and watching a movie. Today I'm gonna give you guys my top 5 favorite movies. Lock in. Let's lock in. Number 5, Butterfly Effect. Directed by Eric Briss and Jay Gruber. Starring Amy Smart and Ashton Kutcher. I think that movie for me was so impactful because it gave you a different perspective about how life would be if it shifted just with 1 second of decision making. And I'm not even into like sci-fi like that, but the way they ended that movie, it just had me at the edge of my seat. These different type of mental transformations of him reading his diary and him imagining these certain situations, and then he felt it when he woke up. I was really in tune with that, and it just really gives you a perspective about life. And then not to be taking life for granted, because anything could change like this. Butterfly Effect. Go watch that. Number 4. Now I know I said I'm not into sci-fi movies like that, and there's already one. But here's the second sci-fi movie that I love. Interstellar. Produced and directed by the one and only Christopher Nolan, and with one of my favorite actors, Matthew McConaughey. That movie was a genius within science, within the universe, within dimensions, within your creativity. It's only about 3 hours long. It's longer than an average movie, but I just feel like that movie really had you thinking, man. It had you wondering about how much reality is this? They were in a different planet, and there's different years within minutes, and the difference within that, the science and the chemistry and the genius within that movie has you at the edge of your seat. You don't want to blink. You don't want to go to the bathroom. The dialogue within the characters, like Anna Hathaway was like the co-star there, and it's just genius to see like the father-daughter dynamic within every moment of the movie and how they grow apart and then come together. Interstellar, man. You got to see that if you haven't seen it. Ask somebody about it as well. Number 3, you guessed it. You probably know all the words to this movie. Pay the Fool. I done seen the movie about at least 75 times. Directed by Charles Stone III. One of the producers, Damon Dash and Jay-Z. So if you're a New Yorker, you know how much this movie means to you and the culture. Cameron, like the way Cameron just came and impacted that movie was groundbreaking. Like Rico, come on, and Lulu, Ace Boogie, like Woody Harris is so underrated. I think the movies that he's been on and like just how he comes in and really makes a change in the movie, and people never forget who his character is. Mekhi Phifer. Like those 3 dynamics was definitely, I think, they did a great job. They did a great job because this is a true story. Do your research. There's parts of it that's so true, and you have to understand that there's a beauty in the culture of New York and like just like the rawness of it. Angie Martinez was in the movie. You see a lot of people that you recognize, and you're like, oh wow, Regina Hall. Like these are the characters that when this movie came out, people really didn't know the impact that they would make today. And this is part of Black excellence. Pay the Fool? Come on. Why not? And 2, this is a more recent movie for me in my collection of faves, but I just think that it was so aligned with what's happening yesterday, today, and tomorrow within the culture. Get Out. Jordan Peele has become one of my favorite directors. He's a genius when it comes to this horror, spooky, out-the-box thinking of writing, and then he executes it, has you just at the edge of your seat, and you're cringing, but you can't blink because you don't know what's gonna happen next. And then when you really think about the bigger picture, that's things that are happening right now in life. Get Out was huge. Daniel Kaluuya, like, We've seen him in Judas and the Black Messiah, the Black Panther. Like he's I think he's next up in like one of like the more premier, like the next Denzels. Daniel Kaluuya's up there. And who else? Lakeith Stanfield. Like Get Out has not only impacted our culture, but people are more aware of like what's really going on behind closed doors, right? So Get Out is a movie that I'm gonna continue watching on, and I'm gonna continue to be a big fan of Jordan Peele, watching Kaluuya's movie, Lakeith Stanfield, and he was in Judas and the Black Messiah as well, and they did amazing. And he was in The Photograph also. So these are just actors that I'm following because they bring so much joy on the screen, and just who they are as individuals outside of the screen gives me so much joy as well to be a black man. And Get Out was definitely an impactful movie for me, and it'll continue to be that because I'm gonna continue watching it. Number 2, Get Out. I want to give an honorable mention. This movie almost made it, but it didn't. It's an honorable mention because I think the fashion in this movie was monumental. The fashion in this movie connected heavily with the Harlem Renaissance. I think the actors in this movie was phenomenal, and a lot of them are here today and a lot of them are not. But what they all are legends. Harlem Knights. Come on. How could you not have Harlem Knights as an honorable mention? Eddie Murphy, one of my favorite actors. Harlem Knights. Drum roll, please. For Ilbert's top 5 favorite movies, the number one, and if you know me, then you know I'm gonna say Boomerang. Boomerang with Eddie Murphy, Halle Berry, Robin Givens. There's been the cast. Martin Lawrence was in there. Like the David Allen Greer. Like these are just excellent actors at the time where they weren't getting gigs at the moment, you know. And Reginald Hudlin, who was the director, gave them opportunities to actually be on this platform and just tell the story of Boomerang, of Marcus. You know, for me, I feel like me and Marcus are connected in so many different ways. You know, I started watching Boomerang when I was a young kid, and I still watch it to this day because there's still little parts that I miss that I feel like I'm connected to. You know, his suits was impeccable. His like penthouse was out of this world, and this dynamic that he had, you know, with the woman, it was just like bizarre. And they weren't telling stories like that back in the 90s, you know, compared to how they tell stories now. And I just think the way Eddie Murphy carried the Marcus role was definitely a highlight to his career and his decision making of the movies that he selected during that time. You know, I think Boomerang for me was just hilarious with Lady Eloise, the Scranje. Like there's so many elements in the movie that for me just was motivational and inspirational. I even celebrated our Garcia Couture 3-year anniversary back in 2019, and it was my birthday party as a Boomerang theme. Like that's how much I'm invested in the movie. You know, I've done Boomerang as a Halloween costume as Eddie Murphy, you know, as Marcus, and I've dressed like Marcus a few times where I did the double-breasted, the old school double-breasted, because I just feel so in tune with the movie Boomerang. You know, if you haven't seen it, you know, that's a good date night movie. Like you want to see it with your lady, you want to see it with your significant other. Boomerang is the perfect movie for you. You know, yo, watch it from start to beginning and just have a conversation. You know, see what's the difference between back then to what it is now. You know, in dating, in finances, in marketing, the marketing department, because it was in marketing. You know, and fragrances, and just like the culture of black excellence. This is a black cast. You know, so yo, Boomerang is top tier. Like, how could I not have Boomerang as number 1? You guessed it. Thank you so much. In review, we have Interstellar, Butterfly Effect, Paid in Full, Get Out, and Boomerang. This is Ilbert J. Sanchez, and this is Excellence in Every Thread. Thank you.